Hello and welcome to this, sort of new OpenTTD series I have. The idea that I want to get across with this sort of thing is, I want to build something. And I've never really shown off what I built in OpenTTD before. I don't think many people do, or at least I've not seen many people do this sort of thing on YouTube where they do OpenTTD with the aim of eye candy. I've seen it on the forums and on the Discord, but never on YouTube, so hence we are here. The idea of this series is the idea of this episode at least, is just put the feelers out, see what the reaction of the community is, or see what the reaction of people are, and see if people actually want this sort of content. So if you do want this sort of thing, then ask down in the comments and you shall receive. So let me give you a bit of context behind this single player world that I'm building or working on at the minute. The idea is, I've tried this numerous times before, but I've never actually got very far with it. The idea is to build a nation, and with full sustainability, power, education, transport, specifically a large emphasis on transport as it's OpenTTD, but something that would work in the real world, something that could pass as realistic, shall we say. So what we're doing here is we're working on the largest city of this nation that I've decided to call Aßen. So yeah, the largest city but not the capital. This country, I guess you could call country. Yeah, we'll go with that. That sounds all right. But yeah, the nation of Aßen. So what you can see me building here is just a small housing estate, really. I like doing this sort of thing. It adds, I don't really know how to put it. It doesn't add depth, but it adds something, a quality to the world. It adds personalization. So these buildings here, they're ever so slightly inspired by estates in Newcastle and estates in London, specifically the Aylesbury in London, and I quite like that idea. I quite like the concept of these massive areas that were built in the 1960s and the 70s, where people had dreams of living there, having massive inbuilt communities. People never have to leave their estates or anything like that. They would just live there forever. But of course it's no longer the 1960s, and we know that these are awful. But yeah, what I'm doing here now is I'm building some houses, some terraced housing. I mean, you have that in the UK, where you have houses right next to 60s modernist buildings alongside a modern arena, modern stadium. I quite like that concept. So once again, what we're doing here, just building up scenery, eye candy around this stadium that I built for rugby stadium, I think. I remember off the top of my head. So yeah, so like I said, the concept of this is something realistic, something that could perhaps exist in the real world. And for stuff like that, you need facilities, and you need stuff where you store buses and such. That's this idea. I actually didn't think this was possible until the newer versions of JGR came out. I thought you'd have to have an inordinate amount of bus wait times and stuff, but this is an active working bus depot. So once I get it up and running, and once I get some routes timetabled in, this will have buses waiting in there overnight and such. So here is what I'm really attempting to do. This is the docks, or one of the river docks. This river is one of two major rivers in the country, in the city, and it's because it's inland. It's an inland port or an inland docks. So this is a container terminal that I wanted to build. I will probably build a second one, and I might have to redo this in the near future because I don't think it's particularly all there. I think there is a lot that I could definitely improve with something like that. But yeah, that one's a rail freight terminal, or major rail freight terminal. So trains unload containers, it gets shipped onto ships, and yada yada yada, or it gets put on a truck to go elsewhere. But I wanted to add or build another container terminal further downriver for deep water ships at least. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you want to see something like that. So yeah, like I said, or I think I said at least, we're going to be working on a bit of motorway today. This is only a short spur of another spur of a motorway. That only goes into a small part of the city. Yeah, this here is going to be the main junction that you will use for trucks going to the docks, or at least that's the idea. You can see here me just making a waypoint which has junction numbers and junction names and such. It's easier to do it that way, otherwise the vehicle pathfinding can be iffy, shall we say, iffy at best in this game. But yeah, you can see the construction of this short spur of dual carriageway here. I think the idea that I wanted to do when I was planning this was have a massive car park up there, but I very quickly realised there would be not enough space, so I might either build a multi-story or just have a garage entrance there. I'm still not 100% sure on what I want to do, but yeah, I might finish that off cam and do it for something else at some point. So you can see what I'm doing here, just more terraced housing. It's 4 tiles, so 1 house, 1 garden, 1 house. These are from Gary G's Australian sets. I can't remember which one. I think it might be Oztown at some point. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. But I really do like the look of them, and that's all that really matters. It looks good, so it works for me. So yeah, here is me ripping up most of the progress that I was making. Yeah, this is odd. The thing with me playing OpenCCG is I like to rip stuff up and start again. So if I do continue to make these odd little excerpts, then you will see a lot of that, a lot of old work being ripped up and a lot of stuff being started again. So here's me just finishing off the rail yard there. So yeah, like I said, ripping up old stuff and building it new again. You can see my endless complaints about multi-items. It's the problem with them. I love them to bits, but yeah, they can get really annoying sometimes. But yeah, that was it for episode 1. I say episode 1, I probably mean more of a pilot episode, because I'm not sure if this series is, or what people are going to think about it. But yeah, if you've watched until this far, I guess I did okay, somewhat. But yeah, thank you very much for watching if you did. Comment down below if you do want me to continue with this sort of thing. Like I said, this video is more of me putting out the feelers for what people really want. If people want this sort of thing, then sure, I'm happy to do it for them. But yeah, that's all. Thank you very much for watching. Peace out.